What'd you say?
I was thinking, a lot of people be talking about like the video session jumping now. How you feel about that?
People want a video now is basically just because that's what gets the attention on social media. At the end of the day, if people are posting for social media, then the whole focus is how can I get the most attention. So if more people are wanting to do videos, then you might want to offer more videos and probably less photos. Because I mean, a photo can be if we give 6 photos in a photo shoot session, they could easily just be one post and then they done with it. Um, and videos just last longer on social media right now. Like social media is pushing videos more now than they are photos. So it would make sense to incorporate video into your shit, but if you don't have the skill, then I would say partner with a videographer or something like that. What's going on, M Lane?
What's up with it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
What's poppin'?
Man, not you got them lane on here, man. Get
you.
off the call,
Who that?
Man, don't be starting no shit, Ernest.
Ernest
man.
be on everybody's shit for nothing.
What's up,
Man,
bro?
Trying to see what my boy on, man. See what y'all talking about.
man,
Man,
trying to talk to y'all, teach y'all some shit, man. All right,
Mike,
so
man.
I'll just keep admitting folks in. I don't want this to go on too long. Plus I only got like 30 minutes on this Zoom chat anyway. But basically, I mean, I've had these similar conversations with y'all before, but this is just kind of like a little bit more in depth as far as how to actually stand out in the market, how to market yourself, and just basically like how to get more of the clients that you want. So that's pretty much what this whole thing is for. Um, and hopefully it's pretty much self-explanatory. So we just gonna go ahead and dive into it. So when it comes to marketing, there are 5 essential components to marketing. Either one of y'all tell me what the 5 components of marketing are, in your opinion.
I think I got like two. Running the ad, running the ad.
huh?
Advertising is part of it,
You talking about like the 5 P's or you just talking about in general?
just in general.
I say product, price, place, the people, and promotion. That's what I go by.
Yeah, and that's kind of the closest thing to it, but it really all boils down to who, what, when, where, and how. Who when it comes to marketing is your ideal customer. Like, who is it that you help? Who is your target audience? Who is it that you want to work with? Is the basically who what do you do that benefits them? How does your service benefit them? How does it help them get to the ultimate goal faster or smarter or whatever? It's like when can they expect to receive the outcome? When can they expect to hear from you? When can they expect to see you post? The where is where can they book you at? Where can they find you if you got a physical location? Where can they learn more information about your services and what you do? And then the how is how do you actually solve the problem? How is it working with you? How is it like working with you? How do your other clients feel about working with you? And all of this goes into marketing. These are all the type of questions that you need to make sure that you answer whenever you're marketing to people. So let me give y'all some examples when it comes to this. So an example of your who would be like influencers or business owners that are women between the age of 28 to 35. And basically what you trying to the people that you're trying to target are business owners who need headshots and professional images for branding and marketing. So that kind of gives you a more specific idea as far as okay, who exactly is this shit for? All right. So then we got what and the when. So what is basically what do you provide them when it comes to them getting their goal or um their overall their overall objective accomplished. So right here we say we provide them with high quality content to help them attract more clients or customers through their social media or website from our content. And also to the whole point of this is to attract more customers and to stand out in a crowded market. That's their whole problem that they're trying to solve, and that's what we're here to fix. The win You can tell clients can begin seeing results within 30 days. So you kind of give them a time frame of when they actually are going to see these results. Times, depending on who your client is, you can kind of gauge those a little bit better than 30 days. It may take longer than 30 days, but if you're doing it based on the results that you can get, then it kind of helps your clients get a little bit more at ease with trusting you and trusting the process, because they know it's not gonna be no overnight shit. It's something that it's gonna take a little while, but you'll start seeing it within the first 30 days. And it also kind of just helps you, like I said, build that trust with your clientele, because sometimes they want to know these things, and if we don't ever have the answer to them because we ain't thought that far, then we generally end up just dropping the ball over there. Letting people know when your business hours are. Do you have business hours for real? And if you do, then when are you available? And actually letting people know that. And then, when can they expect for you to post on social media? If you have an actual social media posting schedule, then, you at least know that, or your clients know, or your customers or your audience knows that at least 3 times a day or once a week or once a day or whatever, they can see you on their timeline. So a lot of where we drop the ball at is that we don't have a schedule to go by. We don't have business hours. We can just be hit up at any times, things of that nature. And that generally defeats the whole marketing behind it, because there's no clear structure to it. Where, if you have a website and the link is in your bio to go to your website or your booking link or whatever, then your website is where people can find the book you, but they shouldn't be having to book you through the DMs. They need to have one solid place that they can go and book your stuff, so that it's more coherent with their entire brand, and not just, oh, I can just hit them up on Instagram and take care of it that way. Even though it's easier and more convenient, it might not be beneficial for your business. And then where can they find you? Again, that goes back to if you got a physical location or doing an Airbnb or renting out a peer space or anything like that. You need to make sure you include that information into your marketing or into your advertising, so that people will know where they're going to be going. Because sometimes a certain part of town might be enough to turn somebody out just because of where it's located at, or how far it is from them, or whatever the case may be. So that also is why that's important. And then as far as like, where can they learn more information about your service and what you do, this pretty much boils down to the type of content that you actually post on your social media or on your website. Because and then you have to think about what's valuable to the customer at the end of the day, because what's valuable to us and what's valuable to the customer can be two completely different things. Because at the end of the day, we might not be our ideal customer. Like, we might be looking for somebody else that's completely different than how we are. But if we keep trying to cater our stuff to just be us, just book me, just book me, just book me, and never really giving people any type of valuable information as far as, okay, why should I be booking you? Then, or if we never persuade people as far as, oh, we do this and then we do this and this is how we do this, and if we don't ever really explain or teach people exactly what it is that we do, then they don't really have much of a reason behind, oh, they got good quality work, let me just go with them. Then we got which is, how do you actually solve their problem? So, if there's somebody that's in need of headshots or in need of, marketing campaign photos or promotional videos for their business or something like that, you can just blatantly tell them, that's what we do. We cover that for all businesses, influencers, things of that nature. Like, the more specific you can be, the better you'll be able to convert. But when it comes to actually them responding to your messages or responding to your flyers or things of that nature. And then, how can they find out about how other people feel about working with you? And it just boils down to testimonials. How often do you actually get people to tell you what it was like, or leave you a review as far as, how it was working with you, what you could fix, what you did exceptionally well. You need to have that documented somewhere, because you can also use that for promotional or advertising or marketing things. You've probably seen me sometimes. I've even posted reviews of how some of the Winfrey dolls felt about being a Winfrey doll, and I posted that. I had different girls actually making videos, like actually making a testimonial video saying that how their experience was with me, what they liked, and everything like that. And they were just saying at the end, just book with Winfrey if you want to do X, Y, and Z. And so that in itself is also marketing. So it's just marketing is really like the plan as far as how you actually relay all of this information to your clientele. If you are leaving anything out, or if you still get a lot of questions after somebody has actually contacted you, then that might mean that you have to go back to your marketing plan and actually figure out, okay, what questions am I not answering from here? But let me stop right there and ask y'all, so where do you feel as though you're lacking when it comes to marketing? Either one of y'all. You're breaking up a little bit, cuz. Hold on. Say that one more time. You was breaking up.
Hello.
You there? I got you.
All right, so I feel like I'm like slacking with just posting more and just posting content and basically promoting. Not doing a good job at promoting myself, like running little ads or whatever, just to get my business out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I ain't doing enough for that right now, and posting on the consistent. That's my thing.
All right. What about you, Emily?
Organizing. I be having so much going on and too much stuff, so I ain't organized with my business to where everything all over the place. So it's like I make $7,000 here or $5,000 here, or you know what I'm saying it's like
Mm-hmm.
in order more organized with my clients and backtracking, catching up with them, like, hey, I enjoyed yourself, more garbage and how to talk and everything.
I got you. So let me kind of give y'all my opinions on, or my insights on why you can't probably market as effectively as you want to, or be able to just be as organized as you want to. And that's just ultimately because your offer sucks. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but let me break that down to you real fast. Let me break that down to you real fast. So the reason why I say your offer sucks is because we as photographers tend to price ourselves as commodities. We're competing with other photographers based on a price and essentially giving more for less in order to stay competitive. Or you don't have a specific income goal set in place for you to strive towards in order to structure your marketing message to generate more sales. Or you also are ignoring the market's complaints and outpricing yourself from your current audience. You don't have a specific package or offer that you're promoting to maximize revenue. And there's really no overall goal of that you're selling. You're more so selling the flight and not the vacation. And that kind of goes to what Ernest was talking about as far as that consistency and stuff like that. Because if you don't have a specific goal as far as like, okay, what am I actually posting for? What am I actually promoting other than, okay, I'm promoting my services, but what are people actually promoting me for? Or what are people actually booking me for? Are they booking me for headshots? Are they booking me for birthdays? Are they booking me for events? Are they booking me like when people see your work, what do they know that they can book you for? And so if you don't have that understood first, and I think I said it in the next thing, but ultimately, if your offer sucks, your marketing is gonna suck at the end of the day. So the key point in all of this is to dial in on your offer. And going back to the organization part of it, the organization comes from understanding, okay, this client is this type of person. Like, let's just say we got a business owner over here, we got a W-2 worker over here, we got a stripper over here, we got an artist over here. All of those are 4 or 5 different types of people that we have to, one, market to if we want to get more of them. But then two, we also have to make sure that each one of them have their own personalized solution to what it is that they're booking you for, because an artist ain't booking you for the same thing that a business owner booking you for. And so the process in which going about doing business with them can be two completely different things. So you might need a project management tool, or you might need a client relations management tool to where you can actually manage to see, okay, this is when I contacted this person. This is the last time I contacted this person. This is what I need for this person. This is what this person needs from me, and things of that nature. And actually just utilize your calendar a lot more than you probably already do, and kind of just be a little bit more specific with what it is that you're putting on your calendar, because sometimes we can easily be busy doing a whole bunch of nothing, or a whole bunch of things that add up to be nothing. So you want to make sure that you put in just the right things into your schedule to make the most out of the time that you have.
That's true.
So if you're asking yourself now, like, what exactly is the offer, then let's just take a look and take a step back outside of being a photographer for a second, and then let's look at this as more of a photography / media business. Now, the whole point in making money and getting more and more clients boils down to two things, which is identifying problems and monetizing solutions. That's all we're doing when it comes to business, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, whatever the case is. We're identifying their problems, and we're and we're monetizing the solutions that we give to them. So as a photography business, what problems can you say that you solve for your customer? We can start at either one of y'all.
You gonna go, Ernest?
You can go, M-Lane. Go.
It be quality, man. I don't be that quality don't sell. If I see something that ain't good, I'm not gonna purchase it. So why would you put out? They had them phone pictures or the stuff don't be detailed. Like, what I'm gonna buy that for if it ain't even quality?
All right, so we got quality imagery or quality visuals. What else?
Yeah, both. Yeah,
Yeah. What else we got?
the professionalism, the way they word stuff and post it. They sites be trash. They Instagram don't look good and up to par. They bio, the things in that bio don't look good. It just
And these are all problems that you are noticing, or these are all problems that you're helping solve?
that I noticed that I'm starting to help solve, that I've been help solving, because I was known for shooting sexy. That's how I got popular. But it was deeper than that. It wasn't me just shooting sexy. It was me taking girls that was insecure about themselves and making them feel good. So they didn't mind paying for that. It was ahead of the game. I was ahead of my time when I was doing that. Girls was wanting to take pictures and show their true beauty, and that's what I did without over editing. So I feel like from that I learned. I found a need and created a want. You know what I'm saying? Well, I found a want and created a need. Instead of just, so that's where I went with that. But I noticed all these problems nowadays. Like, everybody's shooting, okay, that's cool, but they're not giving, for them to try to grow their business, they're not giving the quality to grow their business. You got to be on a standard for people to take you serious.
And so when you starting getting into that questioning, or that I guess when you start getting into that questioning mode, where you start to ask a lot of questions about, okay, or even just that problem seeking mode, to where you start pointing out all of these problems, then we get to the point of either saying that, well, they just have to figure that out on their own, or we either refer them to somebody that we know can help them with that next problem, or we try to find a way to incorporate that into our services, and we end up doing it, or just accepting the job and then sending it to somebody else. So, but when you get into this problem and solution kind of mindset, a lot of things kind of get a little bit easier, because you start being able to tailor your message towards what it is that you're solving for. Because one thing with me when I was coming up and shooting models was, people knew that if they shot with Winfrey, they were going to get booked for something. Didn't know when they was going to get booked. They just know that if I use Winfrey photos, then I would get booked for something. So I started using in my flyers and in my captions and shit like that, if you want to get booked for your next video shoot or whatever like that, then DM me to book your shoot. And that in itself was enough to get people to at least inquire. Not everybody that hit me up booked, but it gave enough people a point of interest to where it's like, oh, I want to get booked. So if I want to get booked, I at least need to hit him up to see what all it's going to take in order for me to get a shoot with him. how much it costs and all the other stuff. So once you kind of get to that point, then you know, it gets a little bit easier. But you have to answer this question first, because it is one crucial detail that you got to understand. And that, again, that boils back down to who is your ideal customer. So, and basically, again, it's like, who is the ideal person that your solution would help? So if you're giving high quality content to people, then okay, is that for a specific person, or is that for everybody, or is that for, you know, just you give high quality content to strippers only, or you give quality content to only hair care professionals, or to massage therapists, or to just your regular everyday Walmart worker? Like, who is actually like your ideal customer? Because the more specific you can get with your offer, the more you can cater your service and your business to that customer, and be able to just charge a lot more than what you are already charging. So let me kind of take a step back. Is there a specific goal, monetary goal, that y'all want to reach through photography, or just through media within within 2024? Like, y'all have like a monthly goal or like a yearly goal that y'all trying to hit for next year?
Man, I say I'm trying to hit a 10K a month at least. Now I take about 7 or 8, but my goal is to hit 10K.
What about you, Em?
I'm trying to be a millionaire by the end of next year.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
So
I didn't hit. You know, I ain't trying to sound. I didn't made a good amount off photography. You know what I'm saying? Which
right,
I'm thankful for. You know, I got return clients and all that. But my main goal right now is, it ain't even the money right now. It's aspect of something new. I want to that's why I rebranded my whole page. I'm doing more
hmm
commercial clients and more, you know what I'm saying, more retainers and more businesses. I want to shoot for more businesses and create
right,
stuff with them now that I've learned AI and CGI and all that. So
hmm
that's my goal for all next year. I don't care to shoot half naked girls no more.
and that's the thing that a lot of us have to make that transition to, because we didn't really. I've always said that shooting naked girls has been a bachelor sport, and
Yeah.
because it gives you an unbelievable amount of access to women that the average man does not have access to. And
Right.
in doing that, it can be very easy to fall into the trap of, well, she's sliding me some pussy for this shoot. So I might accept that. And then sometimes they can get the best of us and be like, well, I need to shoot more girls. I need to shoot more girls. Well, these girls ain't paying. Well, maybe I need to bring my price down and shit like that. And then we just end up working with a bunch of nobodies that don't nobody care about, that don't
Rent
nobody
be
want to
due and
marry.
you ain't got your bill money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we are having to take a step back and just realize that we have to make photography and just media in general, we have to make ourselves valuable again. Because when me and M Lane kind of came up, I think around the same time, and
Yeah.
and we were shooting girls, and it was more of a art behind it. It was more of a girls trying to show they're sexy, show that they can do this, be a model. They were still trying to go against the status quo almost, in a sense, to where
Right.
they were trying to show the world that black is sexy, that, you know, we got curves, that we can still be, all that shit. And so now that it's transitioned to, now that's the main thing that everybody wants. It's no fantasy behind it anymore. It's no value behind it anymore, anything like that. So with us being business owners and not necessarily just photographers, we have to be able to shift or transition or pivot to be able to have other type of shoots coming in, to where that doesn't have to be our main source of income. But in order to do that, we have to be able to identify, okay, who exactly is it that we trying to work with? Like M Lane said, he trying to do more so corporate, more so commercial type things, to where it's definitely much more money there, but it's also just more reliable. It gives us a little bit more freedom to be able to charge what we want, to know that the clients can basically afford what it is that we're charging. And we don't have nearly as much headache as we do when it comes to dealing with, you know, your average consumer female.
Yep.
So this is why knowing your offer and your ideal customer is so important. So if we just go by what the regular photographer will say, he like, I do headshots, I do events, I do weddings, I do birthdays, I shoot models, and I do a little video on the side too. Now, from looking at that offer, who would you say his ideal customer is?
I say birthday and sometimes wedding, cause everybody getting married. Like, everybody need a photographer and a videographer. So you see it. I say that too.
All right, so, but who would you say is his ideal client? Like, would you be able to tell like who exactly he's targeting from doing this? Or
Nah, he all
from saying that? He all over the place? Exactly.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard to identify. It's a little bit complex. He basically looking for a person that needs headshots, that also is an event or a wedding planner, that also is in need of videos. The models can possibly be casted in videos, and birthday shoots could possibly be a giveaway as a free shoot if they were hired for a wedding or event or something like that. But it's basically too complex to try to figure out. What's up?
So like, what if all that helping him get to 100K though?
Not saying that it can't help them get to 100K, but it's no specificity behind each one of them. Each one of those are different audiences in a sense. People that need headshots don't necessarily go to events, or people that do weddings don't necessarily need models. So I mean, and so if you look at it as far as audience and the people that are actually paying this money, you have to talk to a wedding client different than you got to talk to an event planner, or you got to talk to the person that you're talking to do a birthday shoot is different than doing headshots or doing models or anything like that, unless it's the model that's doing the birthday photo shoot. But generally, most of the time, you got to talk to everybody differently, and they're
Yeah.
all for different reasons. So if
I got
you
pages for it.
go ahead.
I just got separate pages.
Right. And that's really what it boils down to. Like, you have to have separate pages in order for you to be able to market to each one of those effectively. Because if everybody just comes to your page and sees that you do just a little bit of everything, you're not really a specialist in anything. So if they just need a photographer or just need a picture taker, then they know that you're probably a candidate because you do everything. But nobody will come to me to do a wedding if they know that I only do glamour photography models and shit. Like, people that only gonna come to me for models, they know that Winfrey is the go-to person for models. I'm not gonna go to him for anything other than that. Now, it can have an upside to that, but it can also be a downside to that. So you just have to understand that, one, you got to be able to say no to the people that don't fit your target audience, but two, you also have to just be confident enough in your ability to serve that target audience. So if you don't know anybody or don't know anything about the industry or the audience that you're marketing towards, then you're never going to be able to see the results that you want to see.
Yeah.
So let's look at offer number 2. I provide high quality visual branding for digital marketing for business owners and influencers. Our visual branding services include photography, videography, graphic design, and web development. We help businesses and influencers develop a consistent, high quality online presence. Now, from seeing that, who would you say that the ideal customer is?
Basically what I'm trying to do.
Exactly. I mean, you looking for a business owner or influencer who is looking to increase their online presence with high quality visual branding services. So
I need that.
it's a lot more specific, it's a lot more identifiable, and it just cuts out the confusion. So like I said here, although Offer One had an audience, it was much more confusing and didn't really provide clarity as to who they serve or what they do. Whereas Offer Two defined who the target audience was, what they provide, what they do, and how they help them, leaving no room to guess. But even though it sounds good to want to work with everybody, not everybody is a good fit for your business. So,
Right.
so like I said, the more specific you can be with who you serve, the better of a service you can provide to them. So imagine your ideal customer being like your best friend. You know everything about them, their favorite shows, the memes and the reels that they like, the platforms that they use, and everything. Every time that the best friend needs photography services, they know that they can come to you to be that person to do it. You already know what they need when it comes to photography services, the process, you know what to do. You repeat the same thing day in and day out because you're the guy for that type of person. So once you have your ideal customer in mind in terms of who you're going to serve and who you're going to market to, then that now boils down to the discussion of price versus value. And so you have price-based competition versus value-based competition. And this is just commodity pricing versus premium pricing. So think about it like this. If you want to shoot a lot of custom, if you want to work with a lot of people, then keep a price low, keep a low price. If you want to work with only a few customers, make the price high. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to how much you want to work and how much is your time worth to you. So if I want to shoot with everybody, that means that I have to have a price that everybody can afford. Versus if I don't want to shoot with everybody and I only want certain type of people to shoot with me, then I need to have my price high enough to where not everybody can just say, hey, I want to book with you today and be able to throw down $300 or whatever the case may be on a shoot. Now you can have both low prices and high prices, but you just have to understand that with lower price customers, they're gonna probably be more trouble than somebody that pays a lot more.
That's definitely true.
And basically, a commodity is something that is readily available to the general public, like I said. So when you compete based on price, you're basically just participating in a race to the bottom. You're pricing yourself to stay competitive, which only keeps your head above water just a little bit. So even though you might see that the market is 250, everybody charging 250, everybody charging 350, everybody charging 500, everybody charging 150 or whatever the case may be, we don't know how much they got to spend out of that 125, 150, 250 or whatever. We don't know how much they got to spend out of that. So we don't know if they're actually making money from those prices or not. But if you understand that, hold on, let me make sure that all my expenses are accounted for and I'm charging enough to at least break even on this shoot. Not even just make a profit yet, but break even. And that should be your minimum price as far as like how much you charge to do some shit. And if you charge a lot of money, then you have to figure out, okay, how can I make this amount of money, or how can I make what I'm providing for this amount of money valuable enough to where they don't ask me, is it really worth, or ask themselves, is it really worth me paying this price? And that goes into the value-based pricing. Think about when you charge a lot, people more so ask themselves, okay, is this worth me paying this much? And when people have to question whether or not something is worth them paying a certain amount of money for, is because they are trying to determine whether or not it's valuable enough for them to pay that amount of money. So, which essentially boils down to how likely am I going to be able to get closer to this goal that I have by paying this money for your service? That's what basically is it worth me paying means. So more for less, honestly, in my opinion, is what's killing those who are charging just based what the competition charge. It's generally, I know it's generally out of good intention because you want to work with everybody. You want to make sure that everybody has a chance, an opportunity to work with you and get good pictures and all this other stuff. But it's more of a miscalculation than anything else. Stop trying to offer your services that's worth thousands of dollars to people that can't afford it. And if you do the calculations and you come up with one, a price that covers your expenses, but two, also makes you a profit, and you feel like clients won't pay that or can't afford it, you either need to change who your clientele is, or you need to find a way to add or communicate the value in that of what you're providing into to support your price. So into your marketing, your advertising, all of that. You need to be able to communicate that effectively so that people know that it's not just a cheap price just cause. The only time that you have to discuss price is if the customer isn't convinced that your solution is not worth the money. So it's generally why you probably don't feel comfortable charging a premium if you have a hard time charging people $1,000-something or something. If you don't have the conviction or the belief behind your own services and offers, then you won't be able to effectively market or sell to the capacity that you could. And I know that I'm only on like 30-minute time block on this Zoom call. So what I have to do is I have to make another call and invite y'all back in. As a photography business, I asked the question, what problems are you solving for your customers? So since you new to the shit, then let me ask you this question. What problems are you solving for your customer as a photographer? Talking to Don.
I guess I would say just providing whatever vision they want to do, whether it's family portraits or doing eternity stuff, branding. I guess just trying to get whatever vision they want back to the customer, whatever they want it to look like.
Gotcha. And I'm glad you actually said that, because it kind of boils down to, before you can actually answer that question with more certainty, you have to figure out one crucial detail, and that's who your ideal audience is. Now, basically, like I was saying, was think about your ideal audience as like your best friend. You know everything about this person. You know what they like, that they watch, what platforms they're on, what they like to eat, all of this stuff. So when you are able to specify who it is that you're targeting, then you're able to cater and revise your messaging to speak more directly to them. So I actually gave this example. We got a photographer that says that they do headshots, they do events, they do weddings, they do maternity, they do birthday shoots, they do models, they do videos,
Yeah, a little bit
everything.
out there.
Yeah.
Right.
So from that, who you wouldn't be able to really tell. It's really kind of hard to identify type of client or the type of customer that they're looking for. So,
Right.
you basically just looking for some everybody, versus offer two, which they say that I provide high quality visual branding for digital marketing for business owners and influencers. For our visual branding services include photography, videography, graphic design, and web development. We help businesses and influencers develop a consistent, high quality online presence. So that one is a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, but a lot more identifiable as far as who they're targeting, what it is that they do, why they do it, all of that good stuff. So, although Offer One had an audience, not saying that Offer One didn't have an audience at all, but it was a little bit more, it was much more confusing, and it didn't really clarify who it is that they serve or what exactly it is that they do. Versus Offer Two, which was more divine, was clearly defined who the target audience was, what they provide, what they do, and how they help them, leaving no room to guess. So even though it's good to want to work with everybody, not everybody is good for your business.
Sure.
I've had to figure this out, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of other photographers have had to figure out that not every model, not every family, not every single mother is good for business. So the more, like I said, the more specific you can be with who you serve, the better of a service you can provide them. So like I said, imagine your ideal customer being like your best friend. You know everything about them, their favorite shows, the memes and reels that they like, the platforms that they use, etc. Every time this best friend needs photography services, they know that they can come to you. You already know what they need as far as photography services, the process, you know what to do. You repeat the same thing day in, day out, because you're the guy for that type of person. That's why niching down and understanding who your audience is much more important than just saying that I do this for everybody.
Right.
So once you have your target audience in mind, then in terms of like who you're going to serve and ultimately market to, is then the discussion versus price versus value. So, and I kind of already touched on it earlier for some guys, so this might just be a recap for y'all. But think about it like this. Commodity pricing, I just basically say that's just, if you want to shoot with a lot of people, you shoot at a low price. If you don't want to shoot a lot of people and you want to shoot a specific type of person or a specific quality type of person, then make the price high. Not because certain people just have more money than others and you just trying to target the people with more money, but when you're trying to shoot with everybody, the thought process that goes through your head is, well, if I want to shoot as much as I can, I gotta provide, or I gotta offer a price that everybody can afford. which is not necessarily a good thing. You can still make the money and you can still make the 100K, 200K, whatever that you want to make. It's just going to be a lot more work and it's going to be a lot more competition. And I technically say that a commodity is something that is readily available to the general public. So when you compete based on price, what you're doing is participating in a race to the bottom. You're pricing yourself to stay competitive, which only keeps your head above water just by a little bit. So what I was saying before the call had cut was that photographers tend to look, especially when they're starting out, they tend to look to see what everybody else is charging and then charge slightly less than that just so they can be competitive. But they also say, well, let me give more than what they're giving so that it seems like it's more valuable to customer and they'll go with me rather than go with them.
Right.
No customers are really asking, okay, is this really worth the price? Because they know that they can go to old boy down the street and he'll charge less than that and give me the same exact thing that you giving me. So then we get value-based pricing, which is basically like high ticket or your premium pricing. And when you think about this, think about people asking, okay, is this worth me paying this much? Anytime we see something that costs a lot or expensive, is generally we generally ask ourselves, okay, is it worth it? You know, is this gonna be worth me paying this much money? And when people generally question whether or not they should, if this
Thanks, sir.
is worth it. What's up? My boy Mike.
Sorry, I shut it off. Sorry.
No, you good. But yeah, so when people have to question whether or not something is worth them paying a certain amount for, it's because that they generally are trying to evaluate whether or not it's valuable enough to pay that amount of money. So it essentially boils down as far as how likely am I going to get any closer to achieving this goal that I have by paying you this amount of money. So it's basically like they're trying to qualify your service as being valuable, but it kind of forces them to look at it as being valuable, and now they're put in a position to find something wrong with it. So I'd rather be put in that position rather than being in a position of, well, I can just get this down the street. What makes you so different than the rest of these niggas? You know what I'm saying? So more for less, like I said, I feel like it's killing the market, and that's just because, well, it's killing those that charge based on what the competition charges. Because even though it might be out of good intention of trying to work with everybody, trying to get your name out there and things of that nature, is more of a miscalculation more than anything else. And basically, all I'm trying to say is stop trying to offer a service that's worth thousands of dollars to people that can't afford it. If you do the calculations and come up with a price that, one, covers all of your expenses, but two, makes you a profit, and you feel like your clients won't pay that or can't afford that, you either need to change clientele or you need to find a way to add or communicate more value into what you're providing in order to support that price.
Gotcha.
So sometimes it might not even be you adding more shit to the package. It just is communicating the value behind the stuff that you're putting in the package. Because sometimes you might just have to word your shit differently, and get a completely different result. And so the only time that you have to discuss price is if the customer isn't convinced that your solution is worth the money, which is generally probably also why you don't feel comfortable charging a premium. If you don't, damn, I just skipped the whole shit. Yeah, I went to the end. But let me try to get back to where I was at. Damn, I didn't realize I went that far. All right. So yeah, if you don't have conviction and belief behind the services or your offers, then you won't be able to effectively market or sell to the capacity that you know that you actually could. So here's the thing. Value is what keeps people coming back, is what keeps people referring other people, and it's what keeps customers spending money with you. So the more value you can communicate or add to the client, the better off you'll be in the long run and in the short term. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone when you can constantly keep adding value to your packages, to what you offer, and just add more value to your customer. So let's do some math real quick, because I'm a math guy. If y'all not math people, then I apologize. But math numbers are the only thing that don't really lie when it comes to what it is that we do. So let's just say you got an income goal of 100K for the year. You got scenario one. You got an average photographer, average photo shoot package of $300. So in order to make 100K, you need 7 shoots a week, every week, which is 28 a month, every month for 12 months, which is 336 photo shoots a year at $300 in order for you to make 100K. Now, for some people, that might not seem bad. And some people, it might be like, that's way too much fucking shooting for me.
Yeah.
So, like I said, fuck. It all boils down to how much you want to work. How much are you trying to shoot people? How much are you trying to get out the house and everything like that? Now we have scenario two over here, which I'm about to get to if I can get to it. But we got the average photo shoot package being $1,200. Now this photographer that's charging $1,200 only has to shoot 7 clients a month for 12 months. No, he ain't got to worry about shooting that many a week or anything like that. Damn near same amount of clients, but instead of shooting them 4 times or shooting 28 people in a month, he only got to shoot 7 people a month. So he only has to do 84 shoots in order to get to 100K instead of 336 shoots. So it boils down to it boils down to your target audience. What can they afford? Are they a person that can afford 300 or are they a person that can afford 1,200? And then the offers are different. Even though I might be charging, let's just say I'm doing 4 photo shoots a month for one person and then doing that same thing for 6 other people. So technically, I'm still giving more when it comes to the edits and everything like that, but it's over a month span of time. So if I communicate that this 1,200 is gonna last you over the course of a month, you get 4 photo shoots and all this other shit. Now it seems more appealing. Now it seems more attractive as an offer. Now it seems more valuable to the customer because it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about my next 4 photo shoots if I pay this 1,200. So it depends on how you want to look at it. So which one do you feel like was more valuable, scenario one or scenario two? Now we can go through everybody that's on this joint. So out of scenario one and scenario two, which one you say is more valuable?
More valuable, I'll say the second one.
Yeah, too.
Number 2.
Hell, I'm gonna tell you like this: my client, they can afford it a damn dollar. Hell, they ain't worth a damn.
Like I said, if you come up with the prices and you either think that your clientele can't afford it or won't pay it, you need to change your clientele or communicate the value enough to them to where they understand, okay, if I pay this much money, then I'm gonna get what I spent my money for. I'm getting what I'm paying for, basically. So let's kind of break it down some. So the photographer in scenario one, if they want to shoot with a lot of people and shoot as much as possible, they're probably more willing to shoot more frequently at a lower cost to attract more customers as a high quality option for an affordable cost, which is cool because it allows him to be able to shoot as much as he wants or shoot as much as he can at $300 at the people that's willing to spend $300 versus somebody that probably doesn't want to shoot as much and is charging way more. For the customer, they can get some high quality photos that they may or may not use for anything other than posting on social media along with the reel. And it's only an hour out of their day. So really, it ain't gonna cost them much time. And they get some cool pictures that they can use for, I guess, whatever they want. They don't really have no purpose behind it. Now let's talk about scenario number 2. For the photographer, if they want to shoot with fewer and higher quality clients, they charge a premium. This way, they can do the same amount of work, and if the expenses are the same, if not lower than scenario one photographers, they can actually profit more. But for the customer, as far as value is concerned, they know when they're shooting. They have an idea of what they'll be shooting for. They can schedule their social media posts out in advance. They can plan for website updates and press releases. It's a lot more valuable to the customer because it gives them a little bit more that they can work with. So sometimes you have to remember that even though quantity sounds good, sometimes quality is still the smarter option. So even though we always vouch quality over quantity, we have to take heed to that same ideology as well. We have to make sure that we're getting quality clients and not just trying to shoot a lot of clients. Y'all feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
But here's the catch. So we got the same scenario, but let's look at the expenses now. So if the average photographer photo shoot is $300 and he has $2,000 in expenses every month for 12 months. That's $24,000 in expenses for the year. Now remember, he was trying to make $100K, so he hit the $100K in his gross revenue. Once you subtract that 24,000 from it, then he only hits 76K. But I mean, shit, 76K for only having to spend 24 is pretty good in my opinion. Now, scenario 2, we got a photographer that charges $1,200, but his expenses is $6,000 a month for 12 months. So he got to spend $72,000 a year in order to make the same 100K. And so even though he made the same amount of money, he made less money. It's 28,000 versus 76,000. So if you don't understand what your expenses are at the end of the day, just because you charge a lot doesn't necessarily mean that you keep a lot. So you got to make sure that the value that you make makes sense both to you and your business financially, as well as make sense to the customer at the end of the day. That makes sense? So business tip. A healthy profit margin is about 80% more than what it costs to produce the product or the service. So let me give y'all some examples on that. So if it costs you $250 to do a photo shoot, so that means that if it costs you $250 for the Airbnb, the gas to get there, whatever else you have to pay for drinks, food, whatever. If it costs you $250, 80% profit margin on top of that would be an additional $200. So you would charge $450 for something that costs you $250 to do. So that way you know that I'm at least gonna take home $200 from this. And I know I can budget for this shoot $250. And I know I still walk away with some money. Same thing on the premium side. If it costs you $2,500 to do it, and you want to make 80% profit margin on top of that, which is $2,000, then you're charging $4,500, or your goal for the trip or whatever the case is that you're doing, your goal to make it is $4,500 and not necessarily $2,500. $2,500 is just what's going to give you that break even point. That just gets you back to zero. Now you got to add on to it. So, how much do you want to keep from doing all of that work at the end of the day? So, like I said, your profit is basically just how much you want to keep. So, let me tell y'all a real story real quick before I jump into the next part. And it's about this guy that does this study about the psychology of pricing. So he set out 3 bottles of wine with different price tags, one cheap, one regular price, and one expensive. He didn't label them with a brand or anything like that. He only just put the bottles out with each price on it. So they had the people come in and taste test each wine from the 3 bottles. And afterwards, they told them to rank the bottles of wine from worst to best. Now, before I reveal anything else, what do y'all think people said as far as like which wine was the worst, which wine was all right, and which one was the best?
They probably said the most expensive one was the best.
All right. What else y'all got?
I'll probably say the same thing. The best would be the expensive one. The worst, the cheap.
And that's exactly what people thought. The results came back when people thought that the cheap wine was worse, the regular wine was all right, and then the expensive wine was the best. Now, y'all know the crazy part about this? Didn't know it was all the same wine. So the perception of the price automatically puts you in a different bracket depending on where you put your shit at. So, because think about it, we're all selling the same shit. We're all selling high quality photos. We're all selling high quality visuals, videos, and shit like that. Because the average person doesn't have the ability or the skill to produce what it is that we produce. We just have to figure out how can we differentiate ourselves from the rest of the pack. And the main thing that can differentiate us that we pretty much overlook is the price. Because think about it. People like 2020, Leon Dash, Meech, you got all these big photographers that don't charge anything less than $1,000. And they're looked at as the best, as some of the best photographers in the game. And people still are shooting with them, booking them, and everything like that. And we don't see them on social media complaining about clients. We don't see no problems. We always see them posting work, and they always in the dopest spots, nicest cars, got all the equipment, all this shit. So that's just off of the price alone, because they know that not everybody shoots with them. So it has to be better. Not even before we get to the actual quality of their work. They just have to be better because they cost more than everybody else. So we can wrap our minds around that. Trust me, price is a psychological indicator of value. When we perceive something to be more expensive, we assume that it must be more valuable by default before even trying to figure out what's wrong with it. Now, we might still go in, and once we pay that price, we might be like, nah, this motherfucker better be cleaning my toes. That hoe better post for itself. That hoe better something for $1,200. I better be getting the world into more. So we automatically expect for it to be able to do all of these things, because we got to be like, it got to be something, some reason why this is this price. We're trying to find the value in it. We're trying to find the worth in it. So once we've actually had our premium prices figured out and things like that, then I'm gonna actually just give y'all the 5 ways to market your business that you can actually start doing like tomorrow type shit. So behind the scenes content, I can't stress this enough. If people can't see you in action, then it doesn't give them a reason to want to book with you any more than if they didn't, if even any more than if they saw themselves in the mirror. Just because they see a picture of somebody that looks good, like, okay, what was the process behind getting that picture? What did the photo shoot look like? Like, where did somebody bust their ass to do this shit? Like, did somebody like something break? Like those type of behind the scenes moments to just see like, okay, what actually goes into the process of creating the photos that we create? It could be the editing process. It can be behind the scenes of a shoot. It can be an interview with, one of your models or one of your clients or whatever. Just anything that can showcase the process is good for marketing. Podcast. If y'all haven't seen them already, they're everywhere on social media. So if you haven't seen them, you're probably under a rock somewhere. But podcast, that's probably the easiest way for you to be able to vocalize what it is that you do, who you help, and be able to provide like solutions. That's a lot easier to put out there than just typing a whole bunch of shit in your story, you know. So if you have shit to talk about, or if you have problems that you want to address and actually give solutions to, then podcast is another good solution. And then you got collaborations. This is different than what girls come to us about. We're talking about let's collab type shit. Now I'm talking about collaboration with other photographers or makeup artists or hairstylists or studio owners or Airbnb hosts, collaborations like that, because that's a way that you can get into their audience that is complementary to yours. And then targeted campaigns is pretty much just you have a specific type of person that you're trying to shoot with. So let's just say you're doing family photo shoots. That is technically a targeted campaign. You're doing family holiday photo shoots. So you're doing them for the holidays, and you're targeting families of 4 members and up, or 3 members and up, or whatever the case may be. So it's just more specific as far as who you're targeting. And then content marketing in general. This is still so more than just photos. We've kind of passed the point where photos are what gets pushed out there right now. So as photographers, if we just relying on photos, you probably gonna be struggling a little bit when it comes to social media, unless you already got the following. Because if you got the following, it's still not going to be pushed out as much, but you at least don't have to worry about your numbers decreasing if you do post a photo. But content marketing would be, like I said, it's more like those how-to videos, the behind-the-scenes videos. If it's you just giving solutions to problems that people may have or that people might have if they or even just questions, answering questions that people may ask when it comes to booking with you. And these might be questions that you always get asked in a DM that you just want to tell to everybody all at one time and just always have on your page for somebody to reference or for you to reference if somebody asks you some shit. Like it also just helps you on the back end just as far as like documentation of what your whole process and how you do business and things like that, and something that you got to kind of just get creative with. So just think of it as these are all ways for you to be less salesy and more give them more of a reason to actually like trust you. So I just kind of explained all of that. But you basically market to gain trust and attention. The more attention that you have, the more people will potentially find your product. The more people that find your product or service interesting, and they just need a reason to trust you so that they can buy something from you. You market to give your business personality. You market as a way for people to know what you do, who you are, and how you can help them. Today, it's all about the client at the end of the day. So, marketing and sales, there's a difference between the two. Marketing is the process of learning your customer, gaining their trust, and persuading them to find out more about the product or service that you provide. That's all marketing is. It's more so long term than short term, but at the end of the day, you're learning about the customer, gaining their trust, and persuading them to want to buy from you. And then once you get to the sales process of it, that's when you turn them from being persuaded to want to buy something or find out more information to giving them that information so that they can make an informed decision as far as why they're purchasing something from you. It's a lot more technical than I feel like y'all expected to hear, but this is really just what it boils down to. If we can just take a second to not look at it as just photography and look at it as the business of it for real, marketing is about 80% of your entire budget when it comes to business. Like majority of what it is that you do is marketing. So given the fact that it's plays such a big role in it, I think we got to understand the difference between marketing and sales, because just posting your rates or just posting that you're going to be in the city or that you're doing an Airbnb shoot or that you're doing this, that, and the third, that is not necessarily fully just marketing. You're doing your marketing, you're advertising, you're also trying to make a sale all in one post. So sometimes we have to understand the difference between the two or the three so that we can be able to differentiate the type of post that we post on social media. So now that we understand in order to market better and attract more customers, we must identify who we're actually targeting, who it is that we're actually helping, and the problems that we're solving. Understanding the financial aspect in regards to the expenses on how to price ourselves to make a profit. Craft a marketing strategy around our core offer and gain the trust of our ideal customers that we're the solution for them, and then just communicate the value of our services instead of allowing the price to dictate the customer's purchasing decisions. But now you probably in one of the four positions, one of these four situations right now. So let me see if I can help you out with any. So let me know if you're this person. You either know what your offer is, you know what your ideal customer is, but you don't know who your ideal customer is or what to charge. Which one of y'all would say that you're this type of person right now? You know what you want to offer, but you don't know who your target audience is and you don't know what to charge for.
I would say that's one of mine. Because like I
Yeah.
said, like you said at the beginning, like I don't really have like a niche type of niche market. So it's kind of like all over the place at this point.
Gotcha. So I'll work with you and we can help identify who your actual customer is, and then we'll figure out your prices so that you can charge accordingly. All right. So who would be this next person? Your ideal customer, and you know what your offer is, but you're not sure if you're charging the right amount or what to charge. Who would say that they're in that position? How many people we got on the show? 4, 3.
We acting like we got a whole classroom on.
Hey, I mean, I sent it out to about 20 people. So, but
I'm more like in that realm. I kind of know the type of content I want to shoot, the type of clients I want. I'm just not exactly, I guess, sure of the pricing. And I don't want to be like, I don't want to charge a minimum amount. I feel like my time is very valuable, and the content as well.
All right, cool. So what I'll do, I'll help you figure out, I'll help you figure out that price, and it's really just gonna boil down to the expenses for real, because it's your expenses, but then also how much time you plan on actually dedicating towards the service. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another call. All right, so who would be this one? You know what you want to offer and you know what you want to charge, but not exactly no idea of who exactly it's for. I think this is kind of like similar to the last one, but you
That's
basically
me.
know, yeah, you basically know what you want to charge, you know what you want to offer, but you don't know who it's for.
That's me right there.
All right, so I'm gonna help you figure out who you need to be your client. And if you're just feeling like you need a complete rebrand after watching this shit, let me know. Cause I can help you rebuild your entire thing if you want me to. But I feel like everybody is at a point where they are missing just one or two things. And once we get those things connected, I don't think you need a rebrand or anything like that. I think it's just gonna be what helps push you over that next hurdle. So that's all I got for y'all on this one. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I know I went over on time on the last one. But y'all got any questions for me? In particular in these last 4 minutes, I guess.
Oh, nah, that was good, man. I appreciate all the information.
And what I'll do is I'll send I'm gonna create a group chat, because I am gonna just try to talk to everybody all at once instead of having multiple different conversations. But I will include this slideshow as well as the recording in that group chat. It's probably gonna be like on Telegram or something like that, because I don't like how the group chats are on Instagram. But I'll invite everybody to the group chat and I'll put all this stuff in there. So for anybody that missed either the beginning of the last one or just whoever don't see this one from not being on here tonight, then y'all be able to look at it later on. But in the meantime, for all of y'all that said that y'all one of these three people, hit me up in a personal message, and let's try to figure out what we need to do in order to get you right, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all tonight. So hopefully,
Gotcha, bro. Appreciate you.
yep. So
Appreciate it.
I'll talk to each one of y'all separately, but until the next time we all reconvene, y'all be easy.